Are we recording? Yep.
It's afternoon, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We should be live on Facebook now. So Marion and myself are back. Someone said last week, every Monday. Do we meet every Monday? But genuinely, you and I do actually meet every Monday, don't we?
We do indeed. We do. And it's a routine and I love it. It's a beautiful way to start my week and keep me focused and keep me uplifted. So thank you for your time, Becci. I do enjoy our Mondays.
And today we are joined by the lovely Paula.
We are.
Hello.
And
Paula.
we know Paula through our comologist training, don't we?
We did. And she also became a part of the Peace Project. So I wanted to ask her to come join us today and spend some time and share about herself. So Paula, welcome.
Thank you.
It's lovely to see you through the screen.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Paula, if you would please tell us a little bit about yourself, about where you're from and some of your passion. Just give us a hint.
Sure. So my name is Paula Gibson. I'm based in Dublin, and my passion is helping people to connect with their heart. That's my number one thing. So I use a few different things to do that. A lot of my work is with Cacao. So I run Cacao circles.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful space to connect, especially in this time, and really help to kind of work through some of the more difficult aspects that people are having that are keeping them from their peace in this time. As like the two of you, I'm also a comologist, so I work one-to-one mostly with people with physical issues or repeating life circumstances that they are ready to move on from.
Super. Like what Becci said, we had the pleasure of meeting Paula through Calm, and she's such a bright light. I mean, you're just instantly drawn to her, I must say. You just emanate this loveliness. It's like, oh, I want to hang out in your space.
I think when I first met you, Paula, you were off like traveling around the world or something like that, or first virtually met you. You're a well-traveled person, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. So I spent probably the guts of 5 years traveling around mostly Central America and Mexico. I wasn't really doing much traveling. I was kind of bouncing between one community and the other. One of the communities that I was living in is actually where Sandy is at the moment, in San Agustinio in Mexico.
No way! Wow.
And then on my visa runs, I would go to Guatemala and go into the cacao world, and I ended up staying there longer and longer times. So yeah, and then a little bit of time in Asia.
Very
and
good.
Most of that time was really spending a lot of time on peace, a lot of time on healing, a lot of time in retreat. I did a lot of silent retreats, and so I definitely had my training for this experience in all of those
that's
years.
Fantastic. So when you say retreats and those things, was it for yourself? Was it your own healing and discovery that you were seeking and kind of experiencing?
I mean, definitely it started out that way.
Okay.
I had a really rough few years, about 10 years ago, a lot of loss, a lot of death. And I kind of went traveling to escape a little bit.
Wow. What did you find?
I found so many things. I found so much inspiration. I ended up very quickly finding the healing modalities. So I started off with yoga, meditation, some other plant medicine work. And then I ended up in Mexico, where we would do these silent meditation retreats. I did a couple of you know, I did a yoga teacher training in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
More for myself. I wasn't really planning to teach, but it was more just for myself. And then when I started doing more and more of these retreats, it was like, okay, geez, I really need to help people with this, and I really need to share this. And then when I got into the cacao, I definitely had to share that. So when I came home, that was the first thing I did. But you know, I was also going through a lot of physical stuff over the years. And that's how I came to Sandy's work, is because I suffered really badly with eczema.
Okay.
So the time that I met you anyway, Marion, I was like, you probably couldn't see it, but I was neck down, completely covered in like really severe eczema. I was in such a difficult time of my life, and it really, all of this camology stuff and working with the messages from the body became such a passion for me, because I found that it worked. It, you know, through meditation and really understanding the messages that my body was giving me as, you know, a gift to learn from. I was able to completely clear it, and now I have I've become like the eczema girl. I've like
I can see your neck.
Yeah. Yeah. People contacted me all like so often now, really struggling with eczema in particular, just because that's what you know, I've posted about. But
yeah, it's amazing because we forget that skin is one of our largest organs, you know, and it really does speak. You know, when things happen with your skin, there's something going on. And I have my own story, but can we back up a little bit? Cacao. Tell me, it's not cocoa, it's not chocolate, because I mean, I think, oh, chocolate, yes, I would love some. Where is it? Tell me more about cacao and how it can be used and what you have found with it.
Sure, I would love to.
While I reach for my chocolate bar. No.
Any excuse to talk about cacao, absolutely. Yeah. So it's you. I mean, it is chocolate. You know, it is. Okay. It is a form of chocolate. It's just a very pure form of chocolate. So it hasn't had any of. Usually, in a bar of chocolate, it will have gone through a lot of processing. It will have had a lot of the goodies kind of taken out through a lot of heat, through taking the cacao butter out, things like that. And just, it's like wine, you know, it's like there's it's so nuanced, the cacao bean. It's like even down to the type of the bean. I have actually a little cacao pod here. You can see.
Is that the size? Wow, it's large.
So that's the size. Now this is like an old dry version, but you open that and there's somewhere like 30 to 40 beans inside there.
Okay.
But yeah, it used to be used as a medicine. So before it became chocolate, it was used by the Mayans, by the Aztecs, by the Toltecs as a medicine.
I still use it as a medicine, definitely.
Yeah. Like we all go, like there's a reason we all go to chocolate when we're feeling a bit, you know, we're looking
low or something.
It gives us that. And it's like, you know, on a kind of compound level, it like increases your serotonin.
Yeah.
It has all of these beautiful chemicals like anandamide, which is the bliss chemical. Phenylethylamine, which is like the body's ecstasy. So it's like that love.
Good.
So that's what we're looking for when we're going for that little like love buzz out of chocolate. Yeah. And
there must be a certain, sorry to cut across you, there must be a certain energy as well, because is it a soothing or is it an uplifting or is it a combination? How do you work with it?
So as a medicine, so how plant medicines work is that they show you yourself.
Ooh, I like that. Tell me more.
That's what we're going to cacao for. So if we're using it just as like, oh, this will make me feel great, you know, this will lift my spirits, then we're using it as a substance rather than as a medicine.
Ah, interesting.
So how I work with cacao is to say that first and foremost, it's a heart medicine. So it does get you into your heart.
Okay.
but you know, what you find in your heart depends on what's going on in your heart and in your life. So if there's
Absolutely.
some, you know, stuff that's ready to be released, that may come up. If
Okay.
you're ready for a big blast of opening and connection and, you know, all of the beautiful stuff, then chances are that's what you'll get.
Wow.
So it's a really, like, it's a meeting of yourself. It's a meeting where you're at.
Okay.
And it helps to just very gently bring these things to your awareness.
Okay.
And then it's
Very
up
good.
to you. Like some plant medicines would be quite intense in
Mhm.
and as my teacher Keith Wilson is my teacher. He's who I learned everything from. He's
Yes.
known as the chocolate sham, and he's based in Guatemala. And how he would describe cacao as a medicine is it will show you the door, but it won't push you through it. So
Ooh.
it'll just really gently go, hey, do you want to look over here at this thing that you're ready to let go of? No? Okay, that's fine. Now, if you
Interesting.
repeatedly don't go there, then, you know, the lessons will get a little bit more intense.
That is true. And then your body will start speaking to you as well, won't it?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
So
amazing how.
talk us through a little ceremony. You talk about cacao ceremonies. So talk us through that, because if I drink hot chocolate, that takes about 10 minutes. So what's an actual ceremony?
So when we gather in ceremony, it's really, we're opening this space to do some of our work and to meet ourselves. So we open this container of however long. It can be a half an hour. It can be, I mean, some of Keith's go on for 7 hours or more. I think his record is like 13 hours ceremony. So it's like you open this intentional container of, okay, we're going to gather, we're going to honor ourselves and what's moving within us for this certain amount of time. Whatever comes up within that time is symbolically being shown to us for our growth and our benefit. So we'll gather, we will drink some cacao. I'll talk a little bit about the benefits and stuff. And then cacao really draws you inward and lulls you into this beautiful meditative state. Okay. So, you know, people who come to ceremonies saying, oh, I've never meditated before, you know, I don't know how to meditate, like they'll be able to sit there for 3 hours, no problem.
Interesting.
And in that time, you know, I'll guide some meditation, some heart connection stuff, and then we'll work individually with what's coming up for people in the group.
Okay.
So it's very much an interactive process of, you know, meeting yourself, meeting each other. We'll do some sharing, and generally it will come up, there's a theme within the group. So we'll do some meditations and some connections. A lot of the time it's moving energy, or it's it can be anything from, you know, working with the masculine and feminine. It can be journeying work. It can be inner child work. It can be, I share some of the camology stuff there as well sometimes.
Very good.
And yeah, it's just a beautiful space for dropping in and connecting and really getting honest about where you're at and how you're doing and working through some of the stuff that's coming up.
Sandy T wants to know, is it classed as mind altering?
Oh.
I would say mildly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it definitely does have some, it is activating stuff. But again, it's working in a subtle way. So it's like, if you're ready for a real activation, then yes, it can activate a lot. A lot of people will feel nothing, you know, because it's happening on more subtle levels. Yeah. So, you know, other plant medicines would be quite kind of intense in that if you tried to get up and go about your day, you would be impaired.
Yeah.
You know, but with cacao, like you could open, like if, you know, you can go into really deep places, but then again, if you open your eyes, you're back in the room and you can hop in your car and drive home, no problem.
Okay. So you're safe to go.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Tell us a little bit about what is it that you're you're drinking it? Is that right? You're making it into a drink. Tell us what's in that. How do you make that? And
so I make it into a delicious hot chocolate.
Lovely.
I'll show you, actually. I have some cacao here.
Yeah, I keep wondering, can you get it locally?
So this
Oh,
is
wow.
the one that I use. This is from my teacher, Keith's Cacao. And in my experience, I have tried a lot of cacaos.
Okay.
And in my experience, it's just so much better than any other cacao that I've tried that
Okay.
I kind of wouldn't bother with anything else at this stage. So this is like, if you open that up, it just looks like a big block of chocolate.
Oh,
So you just
okay.
chop that up, put it into a cup with a little bit of hot water and mix it up and make it into a delicious hot chocolate with honey and spices, and cinnamon and chili is delicious. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of like a drop of peppermint oil or something like that.
So it's a
medicine,
drink.
it's a delicious medicine.
So it's water, not milk.
Not milk, no. You can use nut milks if you want to use nut milks. You can use nut milks, but the dairy has an interaction with the cacao. So that's why all the doctors will tell you to eat dark chocolate is really good for you, but milk chocolate isn't. And the reason is that the dairy actually interacts with the beneficial compounds in the cacao.
So would you ever eat it? Would you bake with it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I love making brownies.
Brownies, delicious with this cacao. What else? I make delicious like avocado chocolate mousse.
Oh, I've heard good things
It's
about that.
really
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like smoothies, ice cream, stuff like that. Chocolates.
Very good. Very good. And so you spend time to ingest it, you drink it, and then you sit afterwards. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And would people come back to do it again? I mean, is it would you do 3 sessions, or do you do it as you need it, or what?
It depends on the person. Like some
Okay.
people really like the container of a certain amount of sessions.
Okay.
So I do one, it's called the Cacao Deep Dive. And this
Okay.
is kind of, we've only done one round, and unfortunately we didn't get to finish it because of the COVID situation. We've done 3, but we gathered a group and we all kind of did this journey together over the course of a few weeks.
Okay.
Other people like to dip in and out. So I offer ceremonies once a week on a Saturday. Online, and it's been beautiful. So we've had it's usually a group of about 20 of us get together, and I'd say about 10 of them come every week.
Oh wow, very
really
good.
Nice. Yeah, it's been really nice to be able to check in with people every week and see how they're progressing. And yeah.
So what kind of benefits have you experienced, or would someone kind of really truly benefit from coming to one of the sessions?
Oh God, there's huge benefits. So for myself, one of the biggest lessons I find for myself and for others with cacao is finding a place of acceptance in yourself.
How fundamentally important is that in life?
Yeah, and just really having that idea of like, you're fine where you are, like where you are is where you're meant to be.
Yeah.
And just kind of trusting the process of the path unfolding. People connect to their heart. Self-love is another huge benefit of cacao.
Okay.
And then other like it's kind of endless. It's just whatever people are at, it just helps shift and move stuff. So people will say like, God, I've been struggling with that one thing for so long. I've tried this and that and that, and the cacao just helped to lift it, to shift it.
Just shifted. Yeah, no, that makes a huge difference. No, I'm an advocate that the longest relationship we have is the one we have with ourselves. So once we work with that, excuse me, everything else falls into place.
Yeah. And so I'm guessing what I'm hearing is that we all kind of integrate with the world differently. Some of us are very sort of auditory, some are very visual, and this is very I'm guessing quite kinesthetic and quite olfactory, and taste, taste actually is one of our 5 senses. So for some people, this is a really good way for them to access their higher self or deeper wisdom, or whatever it is you want to call it. And I
definitely.
love the idea that it's within this container of a ceremony. You're going into the safe and sacred place where everyone has this commitment to being, in a beautiful space together and opening up and discovering what journeys lie within.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's like whatever happens in that ceremony becomes symbolic.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like a lot of the time, say someone will fall asleep in ceremony. And it's like, because we've kind of created this intentional container, that's treated differently, you know? It's treated as, okay, so here's this thing happening in my outside world, or this way someone's, you know, behaving that I don't like. And taking that as my gift to do my work and work on the buttons that are being pressed in me. And it really helps people to start to treat life that way.
Beautiful.
Grab a blanket.
It's no, it's
A little chilly.
it's very powerful to remember to start with yourself, and to give you. Do you find that people are quite hesitant to make that first step into that journey, or do you find people who are just ready to come and embrace that journey, that inward look?
A little bit of both, definitely.
Okay.
I've heard, funnily enough, the people who come to me and say, "Oh, I nearly didn't come," or I was gonna quit, or like I wasn't gonna show up. I was, you know, too much resistance to it or whatever. Those are the people who end up having the biggest shifts and end up working with Cacao later on. So now the people who've said that, they're all leading ceremony.
I love it.
Like, for sure, there's a lot of people who come very open, and for others, there's process involved.
What's it like to lead a group like that? Because I know what it's like to teach meditation to a group, and it's a different dynamic. To experience it as one dynamic and to lead it as another. So what's it like to lead?
Oh God, so beautiful. Just so beautiful. I kind of stay out of the way as much as possible and really trust that their own wisdom is going to show them what's needed. And, you know, I've been at this for, like, I've been sitting in Cacao ceremony for about 9 years at this stage. So I kind of picked up a lot about, you know, energetically what's going on with people and how to help people shift through that. So my job is really to hold the health. This is a lovely phrase that I heard from a yoga teacher that I did a training with recently. And it was to hold the health, to hold them as already whole and healed and wise and with their own answers, and just help kind of point them in the right direction.
That is beautiful.
It's just so gorgeous to see heart opening in front of your eyes. Like, it's beautiful. And like, even people who have not let themselves cry in 10 years and they're like sobbing, and, you know, usually that would be a weird thing or something that you wouldn't do in front of people, and we're all like cheering them on, going, yes, let it go. You know?
Yeah, indeed.
It's like, it's really beautiful. And the group always comes together in a really beautiful way. Like, I'm holding the space, but we're all supporting each other.
That's just phenomenal. And I love hearing that happening, and especially in Dublin. And I know we're, you know, less than 2 hours away. I just know that sometimes with talk therapy and certain methods of how to help ourselves heal and understand, people think they're broken and someone else is going to fix them. But this offers such a beautiful, kind, like you said, health holding space that people feel safe to let go and surrender and really just embrace what's there for them and themselves, which are wonderful beings already. They've forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
So bear in mind, we're all in lockdown. What can people do for themselves? Like, if they could do something with Cacao for themselves right now. So I love the fact that on Instagram you put up pictures of you in your unicorn onesie with a big mug of cacao and like just saying like, I'm having a self-care day or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? But I love that because
That's most
A,
days.
you don't take yourself too seriously, and B, it's actually this is what it's all about. Though it's the self-care side of things, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, I think a lot of people would be maybe reluctant in holding a ceremony themselves because they think there's more to it than there is. You know, a ceremony is just about hanging out with yourself, allowing yourself to be as you are. So that can be like having a bath, or, you know, going out in nature and just being with yourself. Like I've been spending a lot of time walking on the beach in this time.
Nice.
Throwing on a unicorn onesie, drinking some cacao and doing some journaling is like a beautiful way of spending an afternoon. You can do some dancing as well. There's tons of dancing groups available. There's,
I would love that.
yeah, like you can, whatever. I mean, I consider a ceremony, what I consider ceremony to be is just a place of honoring yourself and of honoring something greater. So that can look like whatever you want it to look like. So it doesn't have to be, you know, that you have your rattles and your drum and your, you know, candles,
cake and balloons,
all of that stuff. Like you don't need, it's an inner experience of just really being with yourself, giving yourself a little bit of time to just be as you are. You know, if you need to it helps you to go, oh, actually, you know what, I need to have a little cry.
Yeah.
Or I need to have a little laugh, because that's one thing we're not as good as at letting ourselves do when we're on our own.
No, it's true. And it's interesting because last week we were talking about celebrating our achievements. And in fact, we can also just celebrate being here and being ourselves and waking up and this moment here and this collection and connection. It makes a huge difference. I love it. Celebration of self.
Absolutely.
I think that's also when you really discover yourself, like you do feel this infinite joy, this infinite bliss, you just infinite love. Because it's like you've come home.
Yeah.
Nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to please. You're already perfect, you're already whole.
Yep.
And yeah. So Cacao, where can we buy it from?
So I sell it here in Dublin.
Okay.
So for anyone in Ireland, I can send it to you if you want. You can. I have a very unsophisticated system at the moment where you email me, I'll email you the details, and we'll I'll get it sent out to you. Or you can buy it directly from keatscacao.com. And I have a nifty little discount code that you can, I think it gives you 5% off or something like that.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to wrap this today. I think it's been wonderful. I've loved talking about this and finding more about these cacao ceremonies and what's involved. And or maybe when lockdown's over, we can create one, instigate one happening.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love that. It's been so lovely to see you both and to talk to you.
Oh, thank you for your time. And it's lovely to, like Becky said, it's lovely to learn about it, but to connect with you and open up possibilities. There's so many different ways we can get to get home. It's what's the Rumi saying? We're all just walking each other home. And inside this peace project, it's just fantastic because there's so many ways to achieve peace and remember the peace we already have.
Yeah. Stay on the line, Paula, because it'd be nice to catch up afterwards, but I'm going to sign off for now and wish everyone a great week ahead. Peace. If you're watching the replay, put some comments below, and I'm sure if you've got any questions, Paula will get back to you with some answers. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.